I'm Gina Hunt, and this is my distinguished guest, the Malcolm Benz. So Malcolm Benz, tell me about all the great ideas that everybody's talking about, all the creative people out there in the world.
Well, it depends on what culture you're from. So, like, for me, what I'm studying right now is Afro-futurism. So it's the idea of studying, like, past events through, like, an Afro-cultural past.
Wow, that Afro thing, did that have anything to do with that Grace Jones? Or there's a lot of things that conditionally, do they put out dances or things where people can get together and enjoy?
It depends on the different artists. So, like, musically, Grace Jones was the innovator of, like, Afro-futuristic ideas.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Have you ever seen her live?
Yeah, of course. I saw her this year at Afro-Punk.
Okay.
So.
I think I was there too. Tell me, what was your gut instinct and feeling with so many people around and just generally Grace Jones comes out maybe once or twice out every couple of years, and in my opinion, she looked great, just as Gracie and Jonesy as she could be, even creating some new stuff. And I just thought that it was so well organized, no problem. So many people there just really just listening and having fun. I was there with one of my associates and also another producer, Miss Deborah Liverman, and we just enjoyed it from the very beginning to the end. But we actually got there before they even set up the stage, so we really got to really experience and talk and just see, in the last few decades what has changed or what is still the same. Tell me what you think about that.
Yeah, I mean, because, like, before they didn't have events like this in the past, so, like, to come together and, like, celebrate, like, one's culture and celebrate, like, the power of, like, being black is, like, beautiful to me.
Yes, so. It is. Oh, I think even James Brown might quote that, huh? So, black is beautiful. It certainly is. But tell me, did you think the music was best organized and put together in the right kind of tribal, kind of like vigorating kind of spiritual culture, the African?
Yeah, because it wasn't just a stereotypical like hip hop. There was also like R&B. There was also like jazz. There was also like funk music. So it wasn't like placed in a box where it was more of like a universal kind of feel, but still had like blackness added to it, and the blackness has like a theme.
And what did you think of the creativeness of the dance show and the individuals just being themselves and letting themselves just be free?
It was amazing.
Yes,
yeah.
It was amazing. Well, did you take time? Did you take some pictures, or tell me about?
I didn't take photos, but I attended. So yeah, I got photographed by GQ. So yeah,
okay, all right.
Afro-Punk.
And I know that was an experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. So did you see a lot of your friends?
I saw like a lot of my friends. So like that's in the art world. So like all of us like look forward to it like every year.
Okay. All right. Well, that's great. Tell me, what do you have in mind for your setting at some point to create some type of punketeer or this Afro-punk kind of setting in your own way? In terms of what way would you really put that out to the world, in terms of a dinner, a fashion show, just musically inclined gathering? How would you describe that? What would be your idea on bringing that to us?
Well, I started a group. It's called Black Spaces. So it's I have a physical space for it. So it's just like a Black empowerment group. So what we'll do is we'll probably work on projects together and then curate different spaces. So we'll submit for like different museums and setting up different artwork and stuff.
Okay, now that's a great idea. You're just so creative. Art, in the art world, artists, for just some reason, no matter if they draw, if they photograph, if they do shooting, photography, or technology, if it's just so advanced. And it just seems like we always seem to be on the same page, lifting each other.
Because you have to use that art to like get through emotional pain. Because like, some people, they use art to like escape the realities of everyday life. So that's what like art is to me.
Okay. All right. Well, that's a different point of view. I'm thinking that's something to really think about, particularly for, well, you seem so young, but
26.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's young, but okay. But and tell me, from the other peers and the other artists that you actually work with in your space, and it's particular space, can people really put out what they want? Their own ideas? Can they really be able to really express themselves the way that art should be? It should be totally free, and it should be something that we can, we just feel inside our spirit, our spirit and our heart. Really, with this whole idea of concept of art is just something that's phenomenal. And in your opinion, if there was colors, what color would this be, this feeling? Would it be pink? Would it be purple? Would it be dark blue or black? Is it raging fire? Is it red?
It depends on your mood. So, I mean, art, I think I want to quote an artist, art is never finished, but it's abandoned. So even though things are abandoned, you can always come back to it. So, I mean, I'd like to think of things as like a blank canvas. So depending on the mood is depending on like the color. So like the title Black Spaces is the idea of like, no matter like, you know, like being a person of color, you can kind of create that space anywhere, that safe space anywhere, just to like escape.
Okay. And when you say anywhere and everywhere, are we talking about?
Like right now,
okay.
outside of there, in McDonald's,
okay.
like walking down the street, like anywhere, because like, you know, most of the times like people don't have that. They don't have that like safe space. So like that's what like Black Spaces is for.
Well, I know that Black Spaces must be really something interesting. Is there a direction or a Facebook space, or let us know how we could get to that. How could we see that and see all your work?
Yeah, if you Facebook Black Spaces, and then there's also an Instagram for it also.
Okay.
There's also a Twitter, but everything's like a work in progress. So like the first meeting is next Thursday, November 12th from 6 to 9.
Okay. So that's great. There's actually a club where we get together and we can bring our ideas to the table.
Yes.
And we can be inventive.
Yes.
And we can also be spiritual.
Yes.
And we can also dance, sing, just whatever we want.
Yeah, anything you want.
So that space is like, it becomes a personal.
Yeah.
It becomes a part of
like,
us.
Yeah, it becomes something to look forward to.
Okay.
So it's like, you know,
like
Thursday.
a holiday, like Christmas.
Yeah, but every week. So like every month would be like a workshop. So
in a workshop, describe that. Tell me what we would do in this.
So it'll just be like
workshop.
different workshops. So it'll be like a photography workshop where you get to learn from like different photographers on like how to use the camera, or like a writing workshop where like, you know, you can come in and like learn about like writing a blog or writing a business proposal, because like, you know, most of the times like outside like people don't know, like people don't have like a grip on their technical skills.
Right.
So especially when you go to educational institutions, they expect you to know already.
Right.
So it would just give you a chance to have like a even playing field when you do walk out into like jobs and stuff.
Okay. And that's a good thing. With the economy being the way it is and jobs being hard to get, especially real fair wage paying jobs, to be ahead with technology and everything else that you can grasp is just a wonderful thing. But to be so comfortable with it, to have a workshop where you can really develop each and every week, and also in between that time we can also have conversations with the other people that engage in the Black Spaces and put up their pictures or some of the things that they created. Tell us about their new movie that they're filming or what they're writing about. And I'm just thinking that is incredible.
Because it's not, I mean, even though it is about art, it's also about like self-awareness and, you know, being one with yourself. So, yeah, when you know yourself, it's like, you know, you would have the need to do better.
Right.
And not only for yourself, but for other people. So.
Yeah. So that's a fulfillment, like even spiritually.
Yeah.
Where people can really gather around with the right kind of condition in the right way to benefit not just themselves, but their brothers and sisters out there on the planet, where everybody, each one teach one kind of atmosphere.
Yes.
And just develop and learn and nurture each other from these experiences in Black space.
Yes.
Well, that Black space is So let's be clear. It's not something that's up in space in the universe, or could be directed in that direction too. Tell me about.
It's just the idea of like, you know, you can come into this space and feel safe. You don't have to like feel like an other. So it's like no matter who you are, no matter like what you are, you're accepted in like this space.
In the space, particularly with the problems going on right now in society, Black Lives Matter and these things that go on that just really bring about just a bad feeling in people, particularly the people that are being
targeted.
Yeah, and just that kind of condition to, I guess, a safe space, meaning that as a black young man or a black young woman or any people of color that go out necessarily to be this genocide and this awful treatment, you know, in the world going on even today, what people stabbing people on the trains and all these things that just occur, and it's just really something that, you know, I guess the only thing that could really take that away is your spirituality and your prayer and the action of actually being involved in this black space or whatever you call it. Because when we say black space, but it's also it's actually open for everybody, all colors.
Yes, because
and
like
all creeds
people,
and all.
Because people of color, like, you know, it doesn't necessarily like mean like black people, but it also means like Latinos and Asians and other minorities.
Okay.
So like when people hear like people of color, they get confused just thinking it's only like geared towards like black people.
Okay.
So I mean, so when I say like people of color, it just means like the minority. And
then it's also based on the idea kind of concept of dance too, where it's just everyone is equal and everyone is
any art.
And
so it's just a form of expression.
Yes.
So you would use like, you know, whatever you're talented in, you'll use that as like an escape. So if you have a talent and want to bring it forward to the table, then, you know, we'll see where that fits in with.
Well, I know of your other, you know, you got a lot of, you know, you're jack of all trades. I know that you are excellent dancer and you can teach dance. And tell me about that. I'm interested.
I do freelance photography, danced in high school. Yeah, just trying to figure it out now. Okay. But my end result is to be an art curator.
Okay. All right. And tell me, right now, have you ever worked with any of the well-known establishments as far as museums, or have you?
Soon.
Okay, soon. Okay. So you're new and full of ideas and up and coming. So we're going to have to look out for that. We're going to have to look out for that because I know that is going to be awesome. So I'm you know, that was just really great. So tell me, in the near future, what can we expect? What do you say within your kaleidoscope for, like, say, 6 months down and away? What do you think that you'll have your hand on, actually have your hand on? I know black space is a lot, though, because that sounds like that's something that could really be not just only fascinating, but just, you know, just very busy. Yes. Because, like, each day you're hearing from other people that that found it, you know, found you, and I'm sure they have questions, and they're probably curious to you know, how you developed this.
Yeah, because like I started last month actually, and like I've gotten like a lot of positive feedback from it. Like on the Facebook group is 1,300 members.
Wow.
So like a lot of people.
1,300 members in 1 week.
1 month.
1 month? That's not
so
bad.
Like people are like contacting me and saying, oh, I really like what you're doing with the group. I'm gonna show up to like the physical meetings, and you know, how can I like get involved and stuff. So it's just like, again, it's just like a work in progress.
Yes, it is. It's really is tremendous work. And at the thing, do you guys grab a bite to eat, a pizza?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, we can do like social events also.
Okay.
So.
And certainly plan for some kind of major fundraiser events for when you want to actually have some direct building, a target, a building or something, a space that can actually hold 1,300 people. Is not no small cheese now.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. Yeah.
But looking forward into like the far future, I would want to start like a mentorship program.
Okay.
So, like,
You know.
different people would be mentored and paired with, like, based off like their craft, and they'll just like, at the end of the year, just do like a big project together.
Okay.
A big show.
And mentor is a very sound way to exhibit, people from actually seeing and knowing for reality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not something that is up in space, but someone there that's right there that you can ask questions, that you can speak to, that you can help steer you in the right direction if you're going through hard times. Because I guess we all have a moment where we just need to be still or reevaluate who we have around us and, the mistakes that we made. Ideally, we try to make sure that we don't make these mistakes again.
Yes.
And so the space, it's just a easy way to unload the unwanted aggravation or the unwanted dealings at some point without being a horrible person.
Yes.
But just still being very peaceful within. I think that that's a wonderful idea, that space. And this space is, let me ask you something. What is this space? Is it going to be able to really assist the younger, a newer generation, the younger youth? Is it something that you had in the back of your mind for our youth, so maybe that they won't get themselves in trouble at an early age and be able to go ahead and go to college and be successful? Is there going to be a round table that at some point where you're going to develop a maybe charter just for the very young youth to be able to go ahead without troubles and maybe also get some perks and some benefits of some kind of recreation?
Yeah, of course, because I feel like, especially like, when you learn from like, a small community versus like, a big community, you get better results.
Okay.
So like then the people that, learn from black spaces can take what they learn and, take it to
the next level where they go.
Because most of my friends work with kids and stuff. So the lessons that they learn there, they can probably like teach kids also. But I would look for it. I would think about the idea of reaching out to like younger kids like in the future. But,
well, that sounds good, because when you say mentoring,
yeah,
that to me is just a choice word, but it just means, influencing,
yes,
and directing and showing a way, showing a way. And of course, the earlier we can present that to some young person, whatever it is, if they want to play an instrument, if they want to dance, if they really love, if they want to do film.
Because
what do you think about these kids with the games? What did you think about creating?
Especially like when I was younger, it's like, if you said you wanted to be a dancer, like, you was kind of laughed at. Or if you wanted to be an artist, you was kind of laughed at. But like, but if you wanted to be like a basketball player or like football player, it was like highly praised. So, I would want to tell kids, like, to follow their dreams and, push forth, like, their artistic skills because, you can make a living that way also.
Yes. And it's self-value, right? Tell me about that. It's the self-value. But when you have that conversation with these kids, or even re-identifying to the youth that, hey, it's okay to play a cello or play the piano, or if that's your cup of tea, and it's okay to work out, dancing, because it's strenuous, just as strenuous as football.
Yes.
But that's very interesting. And so in that group of the 1,300, how many of that 1,300 do you think is younger than 18? There should be maybe a youthful Facebook for youth, and where they could be targeted, and it also could be probably experimented just to see how it works and if it would be better for society or worse, looking at, just measuring it for what it is. But truthfully, people now these days, it's not like the old days when our parents worked all the time.
Yeah.
Because now with the technology, a lot of us are able to work from home, or we travel a lot and go to all these meetings. So do you think it's as much supervision with the kids now, these days now, as it was in the past? What is it? Because then this is the kind of things that you have to create in this kind of art and this kind of conversation and the black spaces that have to be put out there eventually. Don't you think? What do you think about that? Because that's more like future looking.
Yeah, that's more like the future looking in. I mean, maybe starting like an after-school program where, like,
Excellent.
you know,
where they can get their little studies together.
Yeah. And it can be like held in like a public school. So like, you know, after they finish their classes, they're not leaving like the physical space or like the physical building. So they can just like walk to like wherever and then say walk and be welcomed.
Yeah, and then pick up on their math if they're having a tough time in that.
Homework.
Pick up in there, pick up with their English if they're having hard times with that.
But the economy is so hard that, like, you know, it just forces, like, parents or so to pick up, like, 2 or 3 jobs. So it's less time with their kids. So for me, I feel like, yeah.
Yeah.
When you talk about supervision, when you're forced to work, like, 2 or 3 jobs, it's just like, how can you spend time with your kids? Yeah.
Because rents and everything else is just crazy. And with the space, at least, with this space, ideally, is there initiation? Is there anything that we have to do other than just subscribe? Or
I mean, the Facebook group and social media, it will be like posting meetings, and then, you know, you just show up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. And because, you know, generally when people say something that's free and you can get on it, there's always the idea that in the back thoughts of the people's inner thoughts is that, well, maybe the first week or the second week, you know, because there's always that thing of come on in and join, you know, no problem, and then later on.
I mean, but you can't think like that. If you think negative, that's when negative things happen.
Right. No,
so,
that's true.
You just have to hope for the best.
And the universal law of always, of always, no matter what.
Yes.
Keep thinking positive and keep moving forward with positive thoughts and doing the good deeds.
Yes.
It's the good deeds that plant the seeds for goodness. So with that, it's just been so wonderful. And those ideas and just the art and the dance. Tell me, do you anticipate putting together some kind of like ballet or African dance at some point? You know, putting some kind of show together? Because I know you are so creative and talented. I mean, in the near future. No, I know that you are. Even, coordinate a setting and a certain scene. Because, one thing about dance, the beautiful thing about it that's so inspiring is that when you go to a dance, there doesn't even have to be words. It can just be music and just the body just moving to the music. Either fast pace or slow pace. And, all of these years we always had dance, but just within the last maybe 8 or 9 years that we've actually brought dances to TV, and we actually take a look at the different dances and different styles, and then we choose in the end, and and it's something that we've just always had, just like the beat of a, you know what I mean? It's just so profound. We just know that, and just that beat, and just no matter where you come from, no matter what culture, whatever, it's enough to bring some real deep joy into individuals.
Yes.
You don't even have to know this could be in a different language, but that, just the beat or just whatever, and it just feel it. It just take you away.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm just thinking that that's just great. So those are a lot of things. And tell me, do you write too? Tell me about your writing.
I do creative writing also.
Okay.
So just like writing like poems and like free writing.
Okay, all right, great. Do you have something that stuck in your mind, something that you created that you want to share? Or
No, not right now. Oh
Okay.
my God.
All right. No, that's
this
fine.
is gonna be cut
I
out.
don't want to put you on the spot. It's okay because I know that generally artists, they just have it's a flow for things.
Yeah.
You know, just like winter turns to spring, and summer turns to fall, and just we wake up feeling a certain way.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that it's conditional, but we just wake up a certain way, and that we say that this is a day, this is a great day. I had this dream, and this just kept with me.
Yeah.
And I got to write it down. And
yeah, because that has happened to me before, where I was like, I would be literally asleep, and I would just like jump up, and then I'll have like a nightmare, and I'll jump up and say, oh, I have to write this down.
Right.
And then,
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, at least that's. And what do you call that when you get that? Is it a premonition? Or
intuition?
Yeah.
Intuition.
Intuition. And when you're having that intuition, do you see it? Is it so clear, like it's reality, or is something that startled you, and then as you absorb and as you get yourself up, then do you put it all together then, or is it something that is it abstract, or is it something that you actually totally recalled from?
I feel like for me, it's an out-of-body experience, and then like when I reread it or someone else reads it, they just like, oh crap, you wrote that? And I was just like, yeah, but I don't remember.
So deep, yeah.
It's just so deep that I don't remember. It's like, yeah, so it's like an out-of-body experience. It's like,
Then when you say
like
out of body, again, you're not talking about like some alien or Martian came or something came and whispered in your ear.
Like,
well, okay, but listen, that was just a great talk and conversation, and that creativity and that words that we have to remember for that happiness and that ease and that mentorship is that black space. And just thank you. You're so wonderful creating something like that, so that people can really enjoy and set themselves free at some point. So, Malcolm, I can't thank you enough. You are incredible, and you are just always invited here when you develop something else, okay?
Likewise, you're invited to Black Spaces.
Okay, all right.